Hello, my name is Ainsworth.
It's Anne!
And it's 1971, and I have made up a new technique called strange situation. It is devised to be able to systematically test the nature of attachment.
Procedure!
The aim is to see how infants between the ages of 9 and 18 months old behave under conditions of mild stress and novelty.
Right.
Woo! Little puppets are just gonna put you in your new environment.
Oh, there. Little one. Oh.
Darling.
Oh my god.
Having such a lovely time.
This is just embarrassing.
No. Happy. Lero. Freshener.
Can I cut that? Cut. Are we still going? Or?
No, we'll stop it now.
That we should know. That would know. Go. Okay, you ready?
Oh, puppets, would you like to play with some Lero? Here. Such a sweet baby.
I don't know anybody.
Oh no. Peter.
This is quite quiet. What do I do? It's okay, little child. You're with me now. Okay. Come on. Up you get. Get up. I'm the stranger, and I will give you stranger anxiety. She's mad.
The findings.
Yay.
I noted. No, I'll just start. We'll just cut that out.
Okay.
The findings of the study were that there were similarities and differences in the ways that infants behaved.
Similarities.
In terms of similarity, for example, it was noted that the exploratory behaviours declined in all infants from episode 2 onwards, whereas the amount of crying increased. I found 3 main components: A, B, and C.
D-E-F-G-H-I-J-K-L-M-N-O-P. Well done.
Secure attachment is type B.
B.
Insecure avoidant is type A.
A.
And insecure resistance is type C.
C. We're so weird.
These are the findings.
Yeah.
Secure attachment refers to those who have harmonious and cooperative interactions with their caregiver. They are not likely to cry if the caregiver leaves the room and shows some distress when left with a stranger. When feeling anxious, they seek close bodily contact with their caregiver and are easily soothed, but they may be reluctant to leave their caregiver's side prematurely. They seek and are comfortable with social interaction and intimacy. The securely attached infant uses the caregiver as a secure base from which to explore and thus is able to function independently.
That will do.
Done.
Secure attachment refers to those who have harmonious and cooperative interactions with their caregiver. They are not likely to cry if the caregiver leaves the room and show some distress when left with a stranger. When feeling anxious, they seek close bodily contact with their caregiver and are easily soothed, but they may be reluctant to leave their caregiver's side prematurely. They seek and are comfortable with social interaction and intimacy. The securely attached infant uses the caregiver as a secure base from which to explore and thus is able to function independently.
Well done. Well done. Insecure avoidant. Characterized as children who tend to avoid social interaction and intimacy with others. In the strange situation, such children show little response to separation and do not seek the proximity of their caregiver on reunion. If the infant is picked up, he/she shows little or no tendency to cling to resist being put down. Such children are happy to explore with or without the presence of their caregiver. High levels of anxiousness also characterize them.
Insecure resistant. Both seek and resist intimacy and social interaction. Such children respond to separation from their caregiver with immediate and intense distress and behave similarly towards strangers.
This is the same point. Sorry. I don't know what
Just
to
do
do.
an anxious face.
Can we start it?
Insecure resistant. Both seek and resist intimacy and social interaction.
Hello. Sorry. Like you have a sleepover or something.
Insecure resistant. Both seek and resist intimacy and social interaction. Such children respond to separation from their caregiver with immediate and intense distress and behave similarly towards strangers. On reunion, such children display conflicting desires for and against contact. They may angrily resist being picked up while also trying other means to maintain proximity.
Evaluation. Other types of attachment. Subsequent research has found that Ainsworth et al.'s analysis overlooked a fourth type of attachment. Main and Solomon, 1986, analysed over 20 SS videotapes and proposed the insecure, disorganised type D. This is characterised by a lack of consistent patterns of social behaviour. In other words, some infants don't have a consistent type of attachment. Such infants lack a coherent strategy for dealing with the stress of separation. For example, they show very strong attachment behaviour, which is suddenly followed by avoidance, or looking fearful, which is suddenly followed by avoidance towards the caregiver. Van Ilsendoorn et al. 1999 further supported this with a meta-analysis of nearly 80 studies in the US. They found 62% secure, 15% insecure avoidance, 9% insecure resistance, and 15% insecure disorganized.
Observation had high reliability. Ainsworth et al. Found most perfect agreement when rating exploratory behaviour. They found 0.94 agreement rates between 0. I've just completely fucked that up. Doesn't matter, just cut it out. I'll start again. Observations had high reliability. Ainsworth et al. Found almost perfect agreement when rating exploratory behaviour. They found 0.94 agreement between raters, where 1.00 would be perfect. This means that observations can be accepted as being reliable.
Real-world application. In situations where disordered patterns of attachment develop between infant and caregiver, intervention strategies can be developed. For example, the Circle of Security project by Cooper et al. 2005 teaches caregivers to better understand their infant's signals of distress and to increase their understanding of what it feels like to be anxious. The project showed a decrease in the number of caregivers classified as disordered from 60% to 15%, and an increase in infants classed as securely attached from 32% to 40%. This supports the research on attachment types because such research can be used to improve children's lives. This is therefore a strength.
Low internal validity. Ainsworth's experiment actually merely measured the quality of one particular relationship. Main and Weston in 1981, where children behave differently depending on what parent was with them. Balby also supports this with the monotropy and bond and who the primary... What the fuck is PAF again? Primary attachment figure is.
Maternal reflective functioning. Raval et al. 2001 disagreed with Ainsworth because they found low correlations between measures of maternal sensitivity and the strength of attachment. In addition, Slade et al. 2005 found maternal reflective thinking rather than sensitivity may be the central mechanism in establishing attachment type.
Slade.
Yay! What are you doing it on?